So verse 39, you are Vayu, the wind, Yama, the destroyer, Agni, the fire, Varun, the sea god, and Sasanka, the moon, and Prajapati, the grandchild of all. Hail, hail to you 1,000 times. Hail, hail to you again and yet again. Because it is the Vishwarup, the universal form, Arjun can see all the forms of God. We will go through the whole list. Who are described here? The first is Vayu, the wind, because of whom everybody's breaths are working and because of whom all creatures are living. This is Vayu, the wind. Arjun can see Vayu, the wind, in the Lord. Not only that, but God himself is Vayu, the wind. That is why Arjun uses the word Tvam, you, before Vayu, the wind. Arjun says that the Lord is also Yamraj, the destroyer. Yam means to maintain law and order. God described this Vibhuti, divine manifestation of his, in the 29th verse of the 10th chapter of the Gita, when he said, Yama samyak matam aham. Of those who maintain law and order, I am Yama. Arjun tells Shri Krishna that you yourself are Yama, the destroyer. One who polices is Yama. This is the definition of Yama. One who maintains law and order. There are many powers in the world and the material world which try to maintain law and order, but of those, Yama is the greatest. The police try to maintain law and order, the government tries to maintain law and order, and the parents try to maintain law and order. All these people try to maintain law and order, but feelings come to these people, they turn upside down and everything happens to them, so this affects their ability to maintain law and order. But it does not make any difference to Yama on the inside when he maintains law and order. Yama's rules are the same for everyone. Arjun says to Shri Krishna that you are Yam. Arjun then says that the Supreme Soul is Agni, the fire. The Supreme Soul takes the form of fire that gives light all the way to the fire inside the stomach that digests food. God is all of these fires. The Supreme Soul is a fire in the stomach of all creatures that digest foods. Aham Vaishvana Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashita Prana Samayuktam Pacham Anam Chaturvidam Anam Panchami. This is said by Shri Krishna in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjun tells the Supreme Soul that you are Agni, the fire. Arjun then tells Shri Krishna that he is Varun, the sea god. Water gives us life, and life is not possible without water. The Supreme Soul is Varun, the sea god. Jalam Jivanam. Arjun says that the Supreme Soul is Sasanka, the moon. This is also the Lord's Vibhuti, the divine manifestation. It is said in the scriptures that when plants and medicines develop, then this is very much because of the grace of the moon. Plants and medicines get nutrition because of the moon. Arjun says that, Lord, you are Sasanka, the moon. Arjun then says that the Lord is Prajapati, the grandchild of all, who gives birth to everyone and who looks after everyone. The Lord is Prajapati. Arjun says that the Supreme Soul is Prapita Maha. Pita means father, Pitamaha means grandfather, and Prapitamaha means the father of the grandfather. Pita Mahas Yapi Pita Prapitamaha. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya says that the Lord is the father of even Brahmaji. Brahmano pi Pita iti artaha. This is because the name Pitama is always used from Brahmaji, and Prapitamaha means the father of Pitama and therefore the father of Brahmaji. Arjun hails and bows down to the Lord thousands of times. Not only that, but Arjun hails and hails the Lord again and yet again. Arjun keeps bowing down to the Lord over and over again. When Arjun says that he has bowed down to the Lord over and over again, Shankaracharya says that when one has an endless amount of faith and an endless amount of devotion, then the person never gets satisfied out of bowing down over and over again. The person keeps wishing to do it one more time. Punascha Bhuyopi iti Shraddha Bhakti Atishyat Apiritonam Atmana Drashyati. I'm talking about an experience of all of you. When we do a lot of planning and go to any holy place to pray for God, for example, Srinathji, Tirupati, Balaji, Jagannath Puri, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Ambaji, or to any other holy place, then you go having done such a big journey. And when we go and stand to pray to God, then people keep telling us, walk on, walk on. We go and leave, but we wish to go and pray to God one more time. We go and pray to God one more time. Why does this wish arise? Do we not know after seeing the idol once that this is the same idol which we see in the picture at home every day? We know that this is the same idol, and yet we are close in front of the picture and close in front of the Supreme Soul, and then we wish to go there again. And when we go into the line and the line is short, then still one person with a lot of faith in a group of 8 to 10 says that the line is short and our number will come up again in half an hour. Let us go and pray to God again. This is the experience of each and every one of us. Why is this? We have come from so far, yet we do not know when we will be able to come back again. We therefore say, let us go and bow down to God once again. If we're getting this one experience, then think about that when Arjun got the divine vision of the Vishwarup, the universal form of God. Would he not want to bow down over and over again and say, Lord, I wish to bow down to you again and again and again. Lord, hail to you again and again and again. Why am I giving this example? When Arjun says hail to you again and again, then nobody should consider this to be a dry repetition. It is not a dehydrated tautology that Arjun has nothing else to say, and that is why he's saying this again and again. It is not like that. I'm giving this example of the state of mind so that you can understand the state of mind that Arjun has. And Arjun is our representative. We have this mental state at one time or the other. That is why Arjun is bowing down to the Lord over and over again. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya Ji says this very same thing, that Arjun is not getting any satiation. If one has feelings towards another, even towards human beings, when a person has feelings towards another human being, then they do not like to be separated from them. If a human being has a lot of feelings towards us, then when they meet us and are in front of us, then we do not realize, but when we are separated, then we realize how much feelings they had towards us. A poet by the name of Maurice has said a very nice thing in a 5-line poem that Bado Adar Che Ena Jati Fena Jova Par Milan Mati Nati Marta Mohabbat Na Puravaro. When we are with them, then at that time we do not see the evidence that they love us. But as they are leaving, then the evidence of the love depends on whether we cannot see them leave. When there is love towards a person, then the person does not say goodbye and go away. He keeps looking at the person he loves while he is going. He keeps saying, see you, we will meet again. When one has this, then they keep looking at the other person as they're leaving, then this is true love. One finds the true feelings from the gaze that is there when one is being separated from the person they love. Otherwise, when they are sitting in front of each other, then a lot of people say good things out of shyness in their eyes. When people are being separated, then this is when feelings are showing. In the same way, even with the Supreme Soul, when one is being separated and they have to get out, then how does the devotee look at the Lord? Ask yourself a question. Whenever in the morning or in the evening, when you are performing bhakti devotion, penances or prayers or whatever else you're doing, such as turning the prayer bead, chanting the name of God, or reading a scripture, and however much time you have, the 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour or 2 hours, then the evidence of what you have done for those 2 hours is found in the feeling you have when you are finishing whatever it is that you are doing. If you have turned the prayer bead for 15 minutes, then it is good if you have turned 2, 3 or 4 prayer beads, but how did that prayer bead complete? When completing the turning of the prayer bead, did you get the wish that you still want to perform one more turning of the prayer bead? Or you have the feeling, or at last, when you finish that second or third prayer of the third prayer bead? All of it depends on the feeling you have when you are separated from that thing. Evidence of love is not shown when you are together. When you are completely bowing down to God, service and worship, and then stand up, then when you get up, how do you get up? When you are straight before whatever idol of the Supreme Soul you have, and then get up, you have the feeling of, I do not want to leave from here. I always say that this does not have much importance in karmagan rituals, but has a lot of importance in love. If you have placed the Supreme Soul in a small cupboard, then at the time of closing the door of the cupboard, do you have the feeling to open the door once again to see the Supreme Soul one more time? If you get this feeling, only then is the feeling true. Arjun bowed down to the Supreme Soul over and over again. Arjun hails the Supreme Soul over and over again. This should happen towards a person we adore. This can also happen for the person. This applies to any field. It can apply to any cause. If you have sat down and reading a scripture and you have adoration and love towards that scripture, for example, when you're reading the Gita, then you feel that the 10 verses that I'm reading every day I have finished, but I want to see what it says in the next few verses. Do you have this feeling? If so, then this love is true. But if your mind tells you to close the book when you have read 9 verses instead of the 10 verses, and that you will see what happens tomorrow, then this is not true love. It is the same with people, with karmas, or any activities that you are doing. Do you get involved in those activities? This is a characteristic of love.